Abusia me ma okwan na me mfa umra RAZ Media GH so. Abusia afei ena bibia da jipefe dientia NDC ene ne tax omo eko for so EC officials so monikre one PC as a winners of the various constituencies in the question. According to Sam George, one of the articles in the constitution say EC enye biena no eka se nipa simasi ena win the election at the polling station. There is no way you can ever change the declaration of the EC. Into the Adrene Ndc for Fato one 18 years say they will make sure say either their EC has either their PC has won or not. No, what they will do is to let the person declare say NDC PC no NIA day. Awene said the beya emra emma ho kwan emma yensesa the outcome of the election. Inti ene your video bi oha Sam George ni go pram NDC member of parliament. Edin sembinuma begudwa echrimpefe say the constitution guide them say after the EC officer has declared say any person must na winning the parliamentary seat ewo constituency hono at the coalition sector no there is no other way. Entino bibi actually say that was part of their plan and intia omo share da ekosesa talks ye can say tax ye can awudifo ne machofo ne hwan ebe good the various polling station say the be yom betumi afo so EC ahodo na omo ho nyina na omo ayeden omo declare winner to the NDC parliamentary candidate. Abusa yenko nenkonko tie nsema sabio Sam George edi ebegu dwa abra na wakohyiam ewo TV3 ana ochirechire ne nsemu ye ba ebeto aso.
Look, Samuel Tete, read my lips. That press conference is as useless as the Bola dump. I'm telling you.
No.
Look, Samuel Tete has no power. Please, Alfred, please. Samuel Tete has no power to make the determinations he is making. They are inconsequential, of no substance, will not be adhered to by anybody, and let him mark it today. He should begin to resign from the Electoral Commission. But Rabina Obin, Fosna Kurugu, Ebi Bright, and Baba Sadiq will be sworn in as the members of parliament.
What they say is they
for
don't
their respective Samuel Tete is not the law. And the law, look, if Samuel Tete does not take, look, the soldiers he walks around with, the soldiers will run. They will pick their boots and run.
So what is the position of the law? Let's get into it.
43. Section 43. CI 127. Regulation 43. 43. On page 31. Subject to Regulation 42. Immediately after the results of the poll for the polling station in the constituency of the returning officer have been given to the returning officer, the returning officer shall, in the presence of the candidates or the representative of the candidates, or not more than 2 counting agents appointed by each candidate, A, assemble the results from the polling stations without recounting the ballots in the ballot boxes, except where there is a challenge by a candidate or a counting agent in respect of the specific ballot box. B, fill the parliamentary election results summary sheet as set out in Form 1D of the schedule. C, give public notice of the total number of votes cast for each candidate. D, publicly declare as elected in the parliamentary election the candidate who had the highest vote. Then it goes on and about the rest, about filling out the forms. Now, the returning officer has the mandate to declare the winner of a parliamentary election. Jean Mensah, Osman Asari, Samuel Tete are not the returning officers in parliamentary elections. In fact, the district director of election is not the returning officer. There's a constituency returning officer. When that officer makes a declaration, the only way you can invalidate that declaration is by going to court within 21 days. It's clear. Yeah. 21 days. It is not in the mouth of an MPP sponsored Samuel Tete to go and hold a press conference and say that he is invalid. He has no such power, and that's why I say to him that this look, if he has taken money from the MPP to stop us from getting 2/3 of parliament, he should return it. He will vomit that money.
He says Okaikwe Central 110. He said you were there because
yes.
when thick of things.
I handled Okaikwe Central.
Yes, at that.
Yes. In Okaikwe Central, there are 141 polling stations.
Yes, you said 110.
110 polling stations were used to declare. You know why? Mm-hmm. In 31 polling stations, the pink sheets, the sheets that were brought, you had the same handwriting on the pink sheets. You have 31 officers in 31 different polling stations, the same person writing on the same sheets, and the numbers that were brought were different, completely different from what was on the pink sheets that the NDC had. And you know, the beauty of this thing is this: pink sheets are duplicates. Mm-hmm. What the parties hold are duplicates. Now, when the original is written on, we all get the duplicate. Mm-hmm. Once you get a duplicate, if you try to alter that duplicate, it will be seen that there has been a change. However, the EC's own is the original sheet. Mm-hmm. That can be changed at any point in time because it's not a duplicate. Mm-hmm. When they came there, we had our pink sheets. The MPP claimed they didn't have their pink sheets. Yeah. Then the EC brings out 31 altered pink sheets with the same handwriting, same signatures. Yes, which were different from what we had on our carbon copy, which you cannot change. And our carbon copy had no editing on it. Mm-hmm. So we refused. Madam Pinkra, who is the EC regional director for Greater Accra, she was shocked. In fact, her comments were, "This is criminal." And she said that she wanted to hand it over to the police to investigate. And we said to her, "Madam, the investigation is a criminal matter that will happen. That cannot hold the returning officer from declaring." So since there are 110 out of 141 where there are no issues, you would declare on the basis of that. Any other person who has a challenge on the 31 can go to court. And on the basis of that, Mr. Degenu, who is the returning officer for Okaikwe Central, proceeded to make the declaration of Baba Sadiq Abdullahi as member of parliament elect for Okaikwe Central.
And this was at the EC's
at the Greater Accra Regional Office. And okay. I'm repeating it again. Not Samuel Tete, not Bosman Asari, and not Jean Mensah. Look, and on this panel, you people have congratulated Dampare. And look, in my constituency, there were attempts for violence there. He intentionally sent in men to the polling stations where I spoke about. So I give him credit for that. Mm-hmm. But Masa Dampare, don't allow anybody lead you down the wrong road. Because the power of the people and the anger of the streets will consume the entire Ghana Police Service if you try. We will not allow any human being in this country, not even John Mahama, to recollect Okaikwe Central, which has been declared, to recollect Ablekuma North, which has been declared, to recollect Tema Central, which has been declared, and to even hear that they want to, they are thinking about Domi Kwabinya. Look, Mike Okwe Jr. came to the regional office, and the EC director, Madam Pinkra, told him point blank that there is no way she can go into a recollation because the results were declared at the district office. So Mike Okwe left.
At the Greater
Accra place. So, look, the regional commander of police, Mr. Ahen, DCOP Ahen, was present when we did the declaration of Okaikwe Central. He was present when Mr. Opong, who is the returning officer for Ablekuma North, did the declaration. Why have they not mentioned? Look, they went and did something illegal at the police training college. Fantiakwa North. Fantiakwa North was recollected yesterday, and
no, that was 2 days ago.
2 days ago. And let me state emphatically, Fantiakwa North was declared in Fantiakwa North.
So here's what happened.
The NDC parliamentary candidate was declared. Then they bring somebody else who is not the returning officer for Fantiakwa North to the police training college yesterday, school, to declare 2 days ago, to declare the MPP candidate. We will swear in on 6th of January the NDC candidate, and nobody will stand in our way. Again, they tell us that Abu Jinapo, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, is MP-elect. His declaration was done without the media present, without the NDC. When we read this, there must be the presence of the candidate.
Yeah.
Okay, it was done by another district's returning officer in the dead of the night, without any representation from Galus, our candidate in Damongo, and yet the EC doesn't say that they are going to recollate that one. We as a party have said we are going to go to court on Damongo. For Damongo. Okay. We will also challenge whatever, in fact, whatever has happened at Fatiakwa North recently, 2 days ago at the police, is of no consequence. We won't consider it as any action. Well, it's an illegality.
The EC said,
so the point we are making
on Monday,
yes,
of your candidate in Fatiakwa North was without 2 polling station results.
Once the declaration has been done, look, let me read. You know when Techiman South happened, the NDC as a caucus, that time Haruna Idrisu was our leader. We did a walk to the EC office and presented a petition. Now let me read paragraph 13 of Jean Mensah's response to the NDC parliamentary caucus in 2020. 13. Recollation can be done at all levels when requested before the declaration of results. However, once election results have been declared, a dissatisfied party cannot request for a recollation or recount of the results. This was 2020 on Techiman South, when we were where they had killed people and we had raised. In fact, Haruna led us to march from Parliament as MPs to the EC office, and this was her response to our petition. The 2020 election was conducted with CI 127. The 2024 election was conducted with the same CI 127. So on what basis is Samuel Tete, Jean Mensah, and Bosman Asari saying that they are going to do a recollation? Look, we are waiting for them. But this is a clarion call to all members of the NDC and all supporters and lovers of democracy. Any day that the EC declares, wherever they declare, let us mass up in our numbers and ensure that they do not steal any of the seats. If anybody has a challenge, they should go to court. But I dare warn, and I dare sound a note of caution. Anybody who tries to do a recollation will laugh on the wrong sides of their mouth. The violence that we have all tried to stop in this country, nobody should try to bring that violence here, because the anger of the people will consume them. We will not allow them to do any collation. So anybody who has a problem, listen, again I repeat, on the 6th of January, when we meet to dissolve the 8th Parliament and swear in the 9th Parliament, Faustina Elikplim Akurugu will be sworn in, unless in 21 days anybody is able to go to court to get a court injunction. So I'm very clear, because that's what the law says. 21 days. Faustina Elikplim Akurugu is the duly elected member of Parliament to be sworn in for Domi Kwabinya. Ebi Bright is the duly elected member of Parliament to be sworn in for Tema Central. Baba Sadiq Abdullahi is the duly elected member of Parliament for Kaikwe Central. And Irabina Oben is the duly elected member of Parliament to be sworn in for Ablekuma North. And let Samuel Tete come and explain to us why we have the declaration sheets from their EC officers. How does he say that they did it under duress? Look, let me give you a typical example. The returning officer for Ablekuma North was present on Monday at the regional office. We could not finish the declaration. In fact, on Ablekuma North, if I remember, has 281 polling stations, 280 plus special voting, 281. As at Monday evening, 9 p.m., we had done the recollation of 219 polling stations. The presiding officer, who Samuel Tete claims did it under duress, went home. And came back again on Tuesday to come and continue. If he was under duress, if he was threatened, and he went home on Monday, why did he come back on Tuesday? When he came back on Tuesday, Ekwe Free, the MPP PC, created violence. He left. When he left, and finally the regional director came, and let me salute Apostle Watson of the Electoral Commission. He guided the process when the regional director, Madam Prenka, ran away. He guided this whole process. And when finally, after about 6 hours, we're now ready to proceed, the police commander, Greater Accra Commander, DCOP Ahen, picked a phone and called the returning officer. The returning officer left Kwashiman, came to the regional office. The regional commander, DCOP Ahin, in his own police vehicle, GP32, went to the regional office, picked the returning officer, drove with the returning officer back to the Greater Accra office, and then now called his 2IC, the 2IC for Greater Accra, Mr. Akuno, was the one who called Equia Free, and Equia Free and her people came. We waited for 1 hour 15 minutes. All of this, if the presiding officer was under duress, would he have gone back for the regional police commander to bring him? I mean, look, okay. Samuel Tete, Masa, Onupa Ajibo, come on, Ofio, the Adukwe, like we said, they should begin to write their resignation letters.
Abusiana Bisau, NT on the 7th January 2025, no? Are we going to see what we saw in the last 7th January 2021 in Ghana Parliament? And are we going to see the same thing or something is going to change? When you can hobi and I Abusia Sam George na kasa no akwa we kasa the necessity bo to say the Ghana ayene dia Abusia de meso so we dey share wadwen e wo comment section box so say ensama Sam George e dey begu abonten wadwen kire e wo ho ene say mamente wadwen e wo comment section box so and then so na your first time wapiemu e wo RAZ Media so a mekire wo say bo modern so be subscribe na wabeka abusuan kese na ho machiao me kra